viewers, welcome to this tutorial on cute looks. Thank you for joining us now to this tutorial. I'm so glad to have you guys with me on this tutorial. For some of us that have issues on how to make our hip flay and our knee flay, I'm going to be using this fabric on the table to explain to you. Don't mind me, the whole machine thing. We've been working, we all know this is season and we've been busy. Hope all of you are keeping up with the season and making lots of cash. You can see I've cut out the bodies of this, the front part and that of the back. I've actually cut out the fabric to make for myself, but you know, retailers most times you cut out the fabric and you think you have the time to make it, and when there's no time you just dump it and do something else. Try when you're chasing the cash. Don't mind us. So this is it. I have my fabric cut out. Like I said, I have the front and the back part, and so I'm going to explain to you from the shoulder part down to every part of this. So stay with me while you watch this. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your notification. Also join at the comment section, and there we go. So at this upper side we have our shoulder, and then this is my shoulder point that took me down to my armhole, and then I took an armhole length of 8 inches, curved it out because I'm going to be connecting the sleeve. And even with this armhole idea I have here, I can actually make it an armless gown if I don't want a sleeve on this dress. So I took my neck measurement, the depth, I took 5 inches depth, and I took 4 inches for the wideness of my neck, and I actually slanted my neck with 1 inch here. And for the back, I took the back of 4 inches wide and 2 inches depth. You can see it. This is my 4 inches wide and 2 inches depth. You can see it up here. You can actually do 1.5 or 1 inch, depending on how you want the back neck to stay. And then at the front side, I took a depth because I wanted the front of it to have opening. For those of us that like opening your cleavage, be your busty or the small side. If you like your bust line to be open, you can open as deep as mine. What I have is 4.5 inches. So when I sew it half, it becomes 5 inches, and that would be very, very deep. If you don't want it deep, you can make it 3.5 inches or just 4 inches, so you end up at 4.5 inches, and that determines the depth of your neck from the upper side of your shoulder. Like I have 5 here. You can see total of what I have is 9.5. And when I'll be through, I'll be having 10 inches here. So it's up to you and how your client wants it to be. So I'm going to start with my bust length. My bust length is 10.5 inches, which I took here, and then my half length is 17. I'm going to be adding half inch to it, and so my hip length is 25.5, which I have here. And because I'm making a hip length flay on this dress, doesn't mean I'm going to be coming directly to the point of this hip length to start attaching my flay or making it just 1 inch. If you try it 1 inch, your flay will start running up and it will not relax well, especially for those that has shooting part of their buttocks, like they have a huge part of the body at the hip area. But for those with flat hips, like not too big, you can just add extra 3.5 inches. But because I wanted mine to come down a bit, where I can wear it to an occasion away from just going out on casual moments, because with clothes like this you can actually have your sandal or your sneakers and then you're good to go. So I added extra 7 inches to this so that I can have a total length of 40, because what I have here on this part is 33, and I'm going to be adding extra at the bottom side, and that extra is what I have here, which becomes the pleating part of my dress. So you see, this serves at this part to pleat, so I can actually wear it to anywhere I want to wear it to. When I finish pleating, you can see the length is small now. You can see, so when I add and fold the bottom side, definitely I'm going to hold the shoulder. After everything, I'm going to be falling back at 40 or 40.5 inches on this dress. So I have my facing made out. Like I told you, I've already cut this parts out, just I've not had time to make it. So I felt for those of us who do not have idea of this, so I'm going to show you before I start processing this. So you can see I'm a very good feather, so you just stay and watch how I'm going to couple up all this. So this is the front side, which is looking like the front part of this. You can see it has opening like that of the front part, so you can see, and this is the back facing relating with the back. So we're done with this part of it. And then at the front side of this this gown, I want to have another Ankara patterns on it, giving it some funny shapes. But instead of making different kind of shapes, for those of us that could be confused, I'm going to be making a block shape, just square shape, 4 corner, just little bit like 5 or 4.5 inches, same all the way. But I'm going to be having different fabrics to make this. So I have it like 4 of them. I've stayed 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be staying these other parts. So you see, I've not done this one. So we have 2 types of stay to use on it, depending on how thick you want it to be. This is the soft one. You can see it's very soft, and this is the hard one. It's kind of stronger than this. You can see the thickness from the camera. This is thicker than this. You can actually use this as well for a bustier. You use this on the body of your fabric, the main fabric, and then you use this for your Ankara, your lining, to line the fabric, and then this for the body part. So I have my pocketing as well. 1, 2, 3 is meant to be 4, and this will be completing it still because it's inside, so nobody's going to see it. So we have it there, and then we're going to be working with an invincible thread. You can see I have my invincible thread here. The invincible thread is not only meant to be used on net. You can see when I use this to tack this down, you can't see it on this cloth, so it makes the box shape on your cloth look as if they pasted it on it, because there's no thread trace on it. So I'm going to be staying this other one here, and then we'll go down to the table. So I'll show you how to put this on your fabric first after turning the neck of this gown. So I'll see you on the machine. Here we go, guys. Okay, so we're going to be turning the neck. I'm going to start first with the opening of the front. For those of you that have issues around this area, it's good you use your pin to pin it down, and then take it with 1/4 inch. Don't do half, please. 1/4. And then carefully move your hand. And if you even want it more easier, take your pressing iron and iron to give this area a line, so that it will correspond with this one and helps you to know the middle part of this. So I'm going to be turning carefully around this area, and then turn this way using my porter as well. And then end it carefully with porter as well, because the cut already is wide, and so I don't want it to be too wide again. So I'm going to notch this part out. I'm going to notch it, and then turn it, top stitch it, and then iron it. And so guys, I'm done turning the necks. This is the back. I've turned the back and I've top stitched at the back. So all I have to do is to weave my facing, and then do the same at the front side, which I've turned. You can see how it came out, very neat. And then I've ironed the neck area after sewing. I top stitched, and then I'm also going to weave the facing as well. So I'm going to put these two aside so we can get the design to place, the Ankara designs to place on it. So this is my fabric here. I'm going to be cutting out 5 by 5 inches so that I'll end up at 4 inches when I'm done making this. So I'm going to come from here. Let me rule the line to make this my starter line. I'm going to take 5 inches here, 5 inches, the kind of 5 inches, and then I'll roll it out. I'm not supposed to chalk directly on my fabric, but because this is a stay area, I can actually do that here, but I wanted everything to be clear on this part. So I'm going to come here as well and check everything clearly, 5 inches. And then I'm going to do my 5 inches this way as well. Watch carefully in case you want to make this. Can actually make a rectangular, circle, or whatever shape you want, but I want mine to be square. So I'm going to cut out this, and then I'm going to use this one to cut out the remaining 3 pieces to make a total of 4. And then I use my pressing iron to fold the edges So this is my 5 inches ready. So I'll use this to cut out the others. As you'll see, I've cut out my blocks ready of different fabrics, but I won't be placing them like this. I want them to be this way, like this. I want them to be this way, creating that middle space. Can you see it? So that's why I need their shapes to be equal while I work. So I'm going to fold each edges by ½ inch. So when I do half here, it becomes 4 inches. So I'm going to fold each and then show you what they looks like when I'm done. And so guys, you can see I am done turning my pattern, my Ankara patterns. The reason why I have this stay on this is to keep these fabrics firm. If not, they might be having folds in between while I'm stitching this, or while it's on the body of the Ankara. So I'm going to, you can see my facing. I've woven my facing. I'm going to follow the trace of my facing and then place this on it so that it will hold my facing down. I'll follow the arc line, that's the mid-center line of my iron there. Calculate it very well so this will be relaxed, and that will also help me to hold my facing down so it doesn't run out. So I have this at the middle. I'm going to take another one and place by the side. Because they're same measurements, they're going to fall accurately on this point. And so I'm going to take this other part and put here. You can see all falling accurately, and they're all 4 inches because ½ inch has been taken off the 5 inches marked on it. So you can see I have them accurate this way. So I'm going to take my pin and pin them down so they don't move while I am stitching it down on the machine. So I'll adjust this carefully, then I'll pin this other edge, bringing them very close to each other so they don't move while I'm working. So I'm done pinning them down. So I'll take it to the machine and then match it down. So I've connected my invisible thread, having the other wool thread under the machine. You can also have your invisible thread under and also at the top side, but I just want it at the upper side of the machine. So I'm going to start from this edge. I'm going to stitch from there to meet this point, match the edges that will be holding this point together, and then connect all around. So I've gotten the middle ready. All I have to do is to stitch every other part together. Now then, let me start from here so I can end at the other edge. So I'll do this. So I'm done with this, and so we are done with the joining of the shoulder. Here we go. And then we're going to be fixing our pocketing to the body to create a pocket. And so I'm going to be taking it from the armhole, 8.5 inches for my own length, for my own half length to correspond. You can see I said my half length is 17, which I use 17.5. So after joining my shoulder with half inch, I'm ending at 17 inches. So you can see I'm back at my 17 inches. So when I check it from here, because I'm used to it, that's why I said 8.5. For someone taller than I am, that their half length is 18, you'll be using 9 inches around this area, so that when you sew half with your armhole, it goes back to 8.5 inches. Can you see? But when I sew with my armhole measurement, I go back at 8 inches, and then it will just relax with my waistline going down to the hip area. So I'm going to be using my pockets opening as 6 inches, because see, the hand is not too big, so I'm going to be using 6 inches. So I'm going to put this, what I have here is 7.5. I'll mark the quarter here, then I'll mark up my 6.5 inches out. So I'll place it directly on the point of my 8.5, and then sew it half inch carefully, going down to meet the other half inch. If you cannot manipulate your inch, you can use your chalk to mark it down. And so after this, I'm going to weave this area. If you cannot weave immediately, all you have to do is first of all drop stitch to hold your pocketing down inside. You can see it's looking nice. Mind you, I've changed my thread to my normal wool thread. I actually use the invisible thread so that here will look very relaxed. You can see how it looks very, very nice. So I'm going to use the same method of the pocketing to run the other 3 edges and then close this cloth up. And so I'm going to be closing my gown. I'm going to be using 1 inch. You can chop your 1 inch all the way down if you want, but I will be using my eye. I'll use my tailor eye. So you see, my tape eye is actually accurate from the outside, but I'm going to chalk it so it's going to be easy for you to see. So this is my 1 inch. So I've actually attached my pocketing to the body to create a pocket. You see I've top stitched it. Like I said, you can weave it before joining the body. You can also weave it along with the body. So I'm going to be closing this. You can see I attach one side and this other side. Same method I used at the other side of the body. So I'm going to run this using my 1 inch to close this carefully. So when I get to the point of my pocket opening, I'll knot it down carefully so the thread does not loose. And then when it comes to coming down, I'm not going to go all the way straight. I'm going to keep my hand as if I slanted this way, as if I'm trying to make an A-line gown. Then I'll stop at my ½ inch. So I'll sew all the way down to the other point. Yeah, and then I'll do just this carefully, hitting the other point, which is my 6 inches point, and out to correspond with the 1 inch that I measured. You can see, yeah, and then all the way down. So I'm going to sew this accurately, and we're done with the body. So it's going to be weaving this area and then show you how to connect the plate at the downside. So I'm about to attach our pleated parts. You can see my fabric is not too much to get the pleated area out. So I've joined the open side of the fabric to make it one. So I'm going to take it like I've notched the front side and that of the back side of this fabric to enable me to know the parts to be able to manipulate this plate. And these are the side, normal, the side meant to have a joining, not on the fillet, but on the body of the dress. And also I have the notch points to be able to indicate each part and be able to manipulate my pleating. So I'm going to start the pleating from the back side where I have this stitch. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to manage this little guy to fit into here. Carefully, I'll take a little, I'll move my hand a little, just to have something to be able to extend the length of this fabric, making it look like a flame. So I'll pinch it little. Keep going. I'm going to manage it carefully. So when you find yourself in this kind of tight space, all you have to do is manage your flow. So I'm done with this part, so I'm going to do the same method all the way around, and then I will be through. So guys, you can see I am through with the body of the gown. This is what it looks like. So if you like, you can stone this whole area to make it very obvious. You can see I've added my pleated area. Like I told you, it's not too full because the fabric is not much, but this I still have little pleats, and I'm having my A-line shaped out. So I'm going to iron this thoroughly so I can put it on and show you what it looks like. So thank you guys for joining me in my today's tutorial. I'll be seeing you in my next video, and don't forget to like this video, and also subscribe please and turn on your notification. Alright guys, bye bye.